I was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was 27, but it's now schizoid affective disorder, which is a mixture between schizophrenia and bipolar. Well, I'm on a medication, it's in control to a certain degree. You're hyper, become sometimes a bit lewd, and you hear voices. I thought I was live on the internet. I thought people were talking about me. Trying to hold down a steady job as well, that's been difficult. I didn't trust my family and people that I knew and things like that.
My mental health problems go back many, many years. But they first came to a head in 1983 when I had a serious breakdown and was admitted to hospital from what was then diagnosed as schizophrenia. I had bipolar, but also I've suffered very badly from anxiety, from general anxiety, so I now have both.
Well, I was very, very sick mentally before I came to Nucleus. I had no sort of outlet, nowhere to go. Well, I've got generalised anxiety disorder. My second diagnosis is dependent personality disorder. And then my last one is recurrent depressive disorder, and it says on my care plan, current severe. And I also have problems with psychosis, and I'm on medication for that as well. Well, I couldn't cope with anything at all. I was very insecure, and I used to stand at the window sometimes for maybe 4 or 5 hours waiting for the postman to come because I was frightened of what was going to come through the post, mainly from the Department of Work and Pensions. It brought up a lot of fear in me, and that's why I made my first suicide attempt.
I suffer with voices and schizophrenia. I'm on medication for it. Your heart clenches, you get like flush. It's just horrible. It's like I had a compulsion with it as well, where I had to keep washing my hands and face. Like the voices would get me to do that. Like I sit there and if I ain't doing nothing, I just worry about this, that, and my brain goes into overdrive.
When I was very sick in deep depression, I forgot English. Many words and not only language, I forgot what I was doing, what I cooked. Depression is very hard sickness. Sometimes I'm not see sense of life. I always thinking about my past and crying too much. I won't stay bed and nothing doing for long time.
Before I was engaged with the Nucleus, my life just was a chaos. I was really hitting the rock bottom. I was in that black hole, and I was really depressed and kind of suicidal. I felt like I was just a loser. I am a Moroccan that came to this country since 25 years. I was homeless. I was neglected by my own people. I was manipulated by the surrounding. I was just lost. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I started even hallucinating. You know, when you don't sleep, you can see a mouse flying. It happened to me. I was really convinced that it was no place for me left in this life.
My issue is because I've been diagnosed with anxiety. The doctor prescribed me some tablet, but I don't know whether they did good or not. I'm an anxious person, although I don't look like it. Sometimes I'm very anxious, you know, most of the time. I don't know why. Sometimes I get frustrated because I got so much potential on me that I want to do things. When I have a bad day, I really don't want to come out from the house. I stay inside and I whinge and, you know, all this kind of stuff.
People that understand mental health need to understand that 1 in 4 people have a mental health problem, and not everybody fits a stereotype as being homeless or on drugs or things like that. They could be in a high-powered job.
Personalization means to me that I am responsible of my own act and I can decide my own destiny. Through the Recovery College, I had a course called Telling Your Story that I really enjoyed. It was kind of therapy. I was talking about my own issues and past and childhood, so it was very, very good for me. I think I encourage a lot of women to speak about their own issues.
Take control means that I'm able to determine my destiny rather than have somebody else determine it for me. It makes me feel more empowered when I'm able to do that.
It's been very difficult for me to personalise my own service simply because that's not the way in which I've been taught to think. When I was first ill 30 years ago, the system was totally different from what it is now. Once you were diagnosed as being seriously ill, they almost gave up on you. In the last 10 years or so, I've had to adapt to a new system, the recovery approach. I found it enormously rewarding.
Well, Nucleus at Brent they helped me a lot. They got me involved with the recovery college. I met other people with mental health problems and I was able to speak to them and listen to them and learn from them.
Since I've been using Nucleus, I've done football, leaflets, I've had a few groups. I've got a mentor at the moment that I see on a Saturday, which is really good.
I do some workshop or they give me voluntary jobs sometimes. I attended to well-being group support. I do some weekend mental first aid.
When I came into Bread Mind, I had some kind of, to talk to somebody. Sometimes you got to help yourself more.
Well, when I came to Nucleus at first, I'd been going through a long period of mental illness, which was very, very bad at the time. I found it very difficult to get help because actually getting into the service is very, very difficult. And I had to constantly push for 2 years to get anywhere.
The Nucleus, yeah, it was okay, for a day out to see other people, might give you a little bit more encouragement, coming to see Bread Mind, because sometimes in London you can be a bit isolated, In
the sessions I had with Nucleus, I found I had to do a tremendous amount of thinking. My whole outlook, which had been very knocked by events that had happened in the last few months, had become happier, clearer. I certainly feel Nucleus has helped me to stabilise.
And we do activities like this week gone, we went to the gym. A week before that we went to the library. We just have a chat and it helps, it really helps. Not only does it keep me occupied, but I don't know, it's just nice to have another friend sort of thing.
Now I'm working for East European Advice Center in reception, 6 years now. And sometimes I come for Brent Mind to volunteering when somebody wants my help.
I have a network of people around me, like my best friend, surf the internet on fashion. I exercise a bit if I can. I do yoga on a weekly basis.
Nucleus issued me with the full membership, gym and swimming pool for free. I was going to go to a homeless hostel. So all of a sudden I had the studio flat and the swimming and the gym and somebody to talk to. It was just something amazing. Just everything just changed to better.
Before being with Nucleus, I didn't have much to do really, because it kept my mind busy, kept me occupied. My voices can get pretty bad if I'm not doing much. I find that when I'm doing something, I don't suffer as much.
What makes me happy? When I know I'm going today to work, do something. This is make happy me.
I'm going to do a course in mindfulness at Recovery College, and I've already started reading a book on mindfulness to try and get some sort of background. General anxiety is very difficult to deal with. When I can deal with that, and I feel I will be able to, having done the mindfulness course and having read up on mindfulness, I will feel very happy and much more stable.
I like to play music. I am a musician. I've played the guitar for many years. I've got 5 guitars. I play all types of music, anything and everything. And that is sort of a therapy for me too.
Because I did CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, which teaches you to put things in perspective and to think about how you carry out things day to day. This has had a positive effect on my mental health. It's calmed me down as well, and it's helped me realise that just because I have a mental health, it doesn't mean that life stops there. It means that I can go forward.
Music is my life, really, because when I'm at home, all I do is play. Playing the guitar is a hobby. It's something that I like to do. Sometimes you have to be positive as well, to be strong, to try to fight this gloominess and stuff, even if you go for a walk or even if you go in the park, to have a half an hour and make you feel a bit better.
I found someone who I've never met, I didn't know before, and he was there just like an angel coming from the skies, telling me, no, this is nothing, you are strong, it will pass, you are not alone, I'm here to help you, and it meant really a lot to me.
Well, I would like people to understand about mental health, how it really is for the sufferer. I would like people to understand that mental health is not a really big problem for some people, but for me it is.
The recovery approach really underlies everything now in mental health. People who are mentally ill are not brainless or brain dead. If anything, they are above average intelligence. With help, with guidance, with support, most mentally ill people can do a wide range of jobs and contribute to society in a very meaningful way. But the law is one thing. I think attitudes are important. And what is still needed is education for employers in the assets of the mentally ill person. Government must support it because it will need a relatively small amount of money.
If there was an employer out there that weren't sure about schizophrenia and voices and that, I'd try and explain. I'd say to them that I suffer with schizophrenia and voices and like just to try and understand.
Depression is very similar sickness like cancer. This is very hard, very difficult to live with this depression. Always I meet fantastic people who help me, and for these people I'm still alive.
You shouldn't put people into boxes or stereotype them because everybody has different experiences. If I was to explain my mental health to someone, I would sit them down and say, look, this is my situation, I'm better now, it's under control. But in the past I had a few breakdowns and it put me behind, and also ended up being diagnosed with a form of schizophrenia. This can happen.
I'd loved that everybody understand that people with mental health problems are not monsters. Sometimes I feel, even with my own people, they make me feel that they're embarrassed by me. They think I'm crazy. If I'm crazy, but I'm not harming nobody. I'm just trying to help myself and get through my difficulties. If I can change people's opinion about mental health problems, I just tell them, try to be helpful and patient and good listener.
Sometimes we misunderstood, As well, I've been working catering for many years, 35 years. I had to do it for choice because, you have to survive in life. But I would prefer to be an artist, to be a singer, a player, things like that.
My plans for the future are quite exciting. I will never get rid of the illness, I know, but having learnt to work with it, I feel I want to get experience in my last few years of working of as many different fields as I can. I'd like to work in public relations in a charity because I can write well and I can speak reasonably well. I'm not afraid of those things.
When you are 60, and sometimes you think, what I've been doing in my life, You turn around and say, I did a lot, really. When you reach 60, the future is live it day by day.
The present, actually, I'm doing well. I just walk daily, almost 10 miles. Sometimes I even train, I go to the gym.
Just hoping to have a normal life, really. Get my own place, maybe meet someone and get a job.
I must get up. I must thinking about how I'm looking. This work, this job changed my mind. I forgot for 3-4 hours about my past. I've got contact with people, and this is give me chance for thinking about my future.
I'm looking for a job, a permanent job. Just meet new people, making you take onus of your behaviour rather than just relying on other people to say yes or no. Basically, it's about concentrating your mind and thinking about the positive rather than just the negative all the time.
It's changed my life quite a lot, really. I've got a lot more confidence than I had before. I like being around other people with mental health problems because I can learn a lot from them and their coping strategies, and Nucleus has actually opened that up for me. Well, I just hope that I can gain the confidence I need to carry on, but I'm looking forward to the future because I know things are getting better for me.